Welcome to HopePulse with Masi Njoroge. When life happens as it does, then there is a lifting up. HopePulse with Masi Njoroge.
Welcome to HopePulse. Today we are discussing rekindling the original me. When we talk of the original me, there are two ways of living. I can be living my whole life to my full potential, or I'm just doing life. Let me call it just existing. And most of the time, when we get to this position, it is because of the things that we go through in life. When we go through a major shake-up in life, when the pain is too much, sometimes we develop some coping mechanism. And if we are not careful, the person that I become after that is greatly determined by the choices I make at that point and the coping mechanisms that I choose. I want us to look at one coping mechanism where we escape from the reality. So what I normally do at that point, I'm running away from myself. Some of the things that normally happen, one person will be over-religious. And when I mean over-religious, it's not about being saved. It is running away in the church. And this is not godly. It is not about the Holy Spirit. So what you'll find yourself doing, most of the time, you'll find yourself in the church more times than your pastor or your priest. You're there on Monday when you're supposed to be working, you are still in the church. You are a member of every group until you're not performing in any of them because you are running away. So you are just looking for things to do, but not necessarily that you're deep in prayer or connected in the Holy Spirit. What you're just trying to do is to move out, but now this time you are moving out in the church. Then how it projects, sometimes you find somebody, they sound like it's a lot of faith. I know God is going to do it. I know I'm going to make it. I know this thing is not bigger than me. In the sound of it, it may look like faith. But in the real sense, when you assess that person deep inside, you will realize they have not even processed a bit of that pain. They have not even faced it. What they are just doing, they are running away from that situation. So because in their system, in your system that I love God, I trust in God. That is what I'm supposed to be. So I get the feeling of, because I'm a Christian, because I believe in God, maybe I'm not supposed to be breaking down in tears. I'm not supposed to be so discouraged, which generally, in the real sense, it is okay to be down. Because that is the season. It is okay to be angry at times when seasons demand so. It is okay for me to feel low. It is not that I don't believe in God, but when I don't get myself to that space of accepting that I am hurt, this situation is difficult, I now develop that other person that is running away. So what happens now, people will be observing and they'll realize you look confused, you look a bit lost, it looks like faith. And that's why you find people now saying these church people who are confused, because you'll be looking confused, because it is not now the spirit-directed action. It is the fear of facing the reality that is pushing you to doing that. Another coping mechanism that people develop that is an escape to the reality is you run away to abuse of drugs. And you'll find it most of the time even showing on TikTok. Somebody has gone through something, they've broken up and they've gone to the bar, give me one, give me two, and they're just drinking themselves out. Out of it, if somebody is not careful, today they take, tomorrow they wake up, you're sober. You still face the same thing. And because you don't want to face it, you again go back. By the time you realize, you've already gone deep into alcoholism and you're not able to get yourself out of it. Or if you are taking maybe other types of drugs, you're already deep into those drugs. Maybe I'm not able to sleep. It is okay to take something to help me to sleep. But then if I do it now and then, every other time, then I get addicted to that. So meaning I cannot sleep unless I'm under that influence. And then if it persists, you will take and they will not work. Because now even the system has gotten used now to these drugs. The other coping mechanism that is somebody adopts when they are escaping is sexual relationship. And this is not love. What happens I would call it in the Kiswahili language, bora mtu tu. So you want this feeling. Maybe you lost your husband, you lost your wife, you lost a loved one, you lost your family. Because of that disconnect, our system will always want to go back to that default. So what the system will be demanding from you, you want that touch, you want that hold. And because you don't have that person, if you're not careful, the system will push you immediately to get into another relationship, not with the person you love or you have any feelings with. You just want that feeling. It is the feeling of that touch, that sexual, that I would call it, the body develops a system. The emotions that come up when you hold somebody closely in an intimate way, it is not the same way if you hug somebody intimately. When people are in a close relationship, it is not the same way with a church hug. So because you are longing for this feeling, you hide yourself. You are not able to face the fact that I have lost my wife, I have lost my husband, I have lost this person, maybe it was my girlfriend, and because I want to keep on, like the system is not able to face it, I quickly get myself into another one. Now the danger with this is that I will go to this relationship, but because it is not, now that one, I left the person. This one, I'm just with the person to run away from this pain of this loss that I have encountered. So because it is not love, by the time I'm leaving that relationship with this person, I will leave it more broken than I was. So before I know, I will leave this person. If I still don't develop the emotional muscle to be able to face this reality, I will again now run to another one. And that is why you find somebody can tell you in a span of 1 year, they have had maybe 10 relationships. They are not relating. It's not about feeling. They are just with anybody who is available to just offer them. Somebody who projects something like just trying to, liking you a bit. And you are in there and you are giving your whole emotions there because you have not been able to deal with it. So now, unfortunately, when I consistently do something, a habit done several times, it develops to a character. So as before knowing, the original person, the original mercy stops to live. Now the person who has been created by this coping mechanism is the one now that exists. So if you ask that person, why do you do this? They don't know. Why are you moving with every man? Why are you with this kind of a person? They don't know, because it is now not them living. You've put yourself, you have posed yourself. Now you are just living every day. Every day, just waking up, because it's in the morning, you wake up, you live that, you just flow with the day. You just flow with the way life is taking you. So, I want to give you a life experience. When I was a young girl, I got married when I was a very young girl. So when I got married, I was about, I would say 19, approaching 20. And immediately after that, I would say my marriage, it did not happen. It's a marriage, I normally say it never happened. It never happened in the essence of, we never got to board. So at the very initial time, I was in a foreign country. I am just 20 and I'm expectant. So with all this heavy weight on me, and then there's projection that this person did not love me the way I thought. So with that disappointment, my system got very confused. The ideal action at that point would have been to stop proceeding with the marriage. But when you stop living, you do many, many things just flowing with the things the way they are. So I found myself in a situation where we are living together. I am expecting a baby. We are fighting every day. There are a lot of chaos in that house, but we are continuing with the planning of the wedding. Why were we planning the wedding? Because the way I was brought up, as a Christian, you're not supposed to live with a man if you're not married in the church. So now we are not going to the marriage because we love each other or we are making a decision that we want to be with each other forever. We are just going because after all we are living together, and because we are living together, we are supposed to get married in the church. So I flew with it. So why am I flowing with this thing? At some point, mercy has stopped living. Mercy is literally just flowing with life. Now, before I knew, I was already in a marriage. By the end of the 9 months, I got a baby. Before 3 months, I got another one. So I'm a mother of 2 in a marriage that I also cannot explain. I don't even know if somebody asks me, why are you married to this person? I cannot really explain, even to myself, why I am here. Yet, I am already parenting. I am already in it. I am already at a foul. So in that confusion, my mind just locked. And I stopped living. I was only living for my children. And all for like about 10 years in my marriage, I was in my marriage because you are married in the church and God hates divorce. You know, you have children now for the sake of the children. So I was in the marriage for every other thing apart from me. There was nothing to do with me. It was just about my faith, my church, my children. Until now, at the end of about the 10th year, we separated completely. Did we break up at that time? No. That marriage was still not existing, because remember, we are not living because we love each other. We are living for many other reasons apart from us. So at this point of separation, because I was a Christian, I really felt bad about myself. And I found myself in a situation where I was asking myself, okay, I've been praying, I have been, you know, I've been a worshiper, I've been praying, I've been an intercessor. I looked at all the things that I have done in my life. I started comparing myself with the people who have been bad. You know, I would lay down my friends, my primary school friends, my high school friends, our neighbors, and I would look at the good ones, the worst ones, and it started aching me, and I started feeling, God, am I the worst sinner in the world? Why did my marriage have to get to this point? What is this sin that I'm paying for? So that took me further into a deeper pit. And I found myself in a situation, at some point, I just said, what is the essence of being good? After all, does it pay to be good? What have I benefited from by being good? I then went further, and because of the pain that I was going through, I remember at some point I was so low, and at a near death, the point that, you know, you're just wishing yourself dead, you are contemplating suicide, you are done with the life literally. And at that point, I listened to a YouTube channel. I think it was Pastor JJ who was talking at that time, and he just said, why would you want to close all the offices? Like, if the office of your marriage has been closed, remember, you are a sister, you are a daughter to somebody, you are a mother to somebody. And it aroused something in me. So I felt, I want to leave. But now this time, the Mercy who rose up to live for her children. And for so many years, I did so many things. I was actually doing very well, even at my working places. I moved from positions. I went even to the management level. But Mercy is literally not living. Mercy was existing for her children, existing for the name of their family, existing for existing for so many other reasons apart from Mercy. Until at some point when I went for a session, the counselor asked me, you know, what do you live for? And it hit my mind, for me, if today I ask you, remove your children, remove your job, remove your husband, remove your mother, remove all those things. Now you yourself, as a person, what do you live for? If I would ask you, what goals do you have for you, not for them? Because for children, yes, you'll have a goal, this goal for the child, you'll have this other goal, you'll have this other goal for all these people. You are pursuing for these children or for these people. But what about you? Who are you? What were you created for? Because yes, we parent, because yes, we have a responsibility to take care of our children. But does my life end at me just bringing up my children? Does it end at just me being married? Why did God create me? Why was I placed on earth at this point? Why are you living today? What is it that you are pursuing for you, not for all these other people? Most of the time you will realize we think we are living, but we are simply existing. Because the moment I start living, I start to pursue my personal goals. I start to pursue my destiny. I start to pursue the calling for mercy. I start living that person that God created. The thing that God wanted me to do in life, I start now pursuing it. What comes out from me now then, I start being kind and more loving to myself. I project strength, because when I am not alive, I look like I'm living, but I'm not living. Even when I'm going out there, there's a weed or a crowd that covers me, that doesn't project the glory of God in me, because the real original me is not existing. The real original me is buried and locked, either by the pain or the situations that we've gone through, or the children that I'm bringing up. There are so many other things that are surrounding me, that mercy seems to be walking every day, flowing with life, getting jobs, going to college. But even the course that I am doing, I am maybe doing it because it's the one maybe probably I'll be able to get a job. Or it is the one I did the first time when I finished Form 4 and my mom took me to that college, and I am just flowing with it. But am I really living? So I want you to ask yourself today, are you living, or are you simply existing? How do I know whether I'm living or I'm existing? One of the things that will help you know is when I'm just existing, just doing life. I will have many goals, but all my goals will revolve around other people but me. So if I remove all these other people, I will realize I have no goal that relates directly to me. So that makes you awaken yourself from that, and now start asking yourself, what am I living for? So that now you stop living for all these other people. It is okay to do all these things. It is okay we are called to do all these things. But at the end of it all, apart from my children, because you bring up children, they grow, they get married, they have their life. Sometimes you can bring them up and they don't become, because you cannot become them. You remember the other time we were discussing and we said, you have your life, they have their life. You can guide your children, but you cannot become them. So you can imagine if your life and your purpose and your goals revolve only around your children. What if they fail and they do not now achieve these goals? What if you are taking them to school and they have refused to go to school, they have refused to perform, or maybe they get into a problem? What happens? You sink into very deep depression, because the only purpose you had for life, or why you are living, is because of them. So when they are not doing well, how will you cope if you had no other reason to live? The other thing that helps you know whether you are existing, or you are living, you are existing, you are just doing life, or you are living, it is you will find you have a purpose that is completely separated from other people. This is where, like when you're talking about relationships and dating, when you tell somebody, when you're dating somebody, or when you're relating, some of the things that you check is that that person comes to help you build up your purpose, not to remove you from your purpose. So when you are not living, you're existing, you will not even have a personal purpose that you're living for. So what happens? You flow with their purpose. You flow and you project a lot of weakness, because when you don't have anything of your own that you're really holding on to, when you're working for your future, if you look at your future like 5 years from now, you can be able to say, this is what I want for mercy. If you do not have something like that for yourself, it means you are still not living. You have the goal, yes, for your children. You have the goal for your marriage. You have the goal for these other people. But 5 years from now, where do you want mercy to be? Where do you want to be? What is it that you feel? So that now you get to a place where you call, the space where we call actualization, where we stop working for money, where we stop doing things for other people. I do what I like doing. The moment I'm able to identify my purpose and my calling, the moment I get back to me, then I am able to do what I like, what I enjoy. Because now I am getting into the inner me, listening to that inner person that was created by God, and now bringing out that which I was created to do. So today, I want you to ask yourself, if you remove all these people that surround you, assuming your husband is not there, assume your children are not there, remove all of them. When you're seated there, what are you living for today? You. What is it that you are pursuing that is related to you? Wake up, assess yourself, and answer to these questions. Number one, what is it that I am called for? What is it that I'm strong in? And when you start answering those questions, there are some things that will naturally be able to do. You sit down and have personal goals for you. And personal goals are related to me, are related to my calling. So I can have a health goal. It is about me. How will I take care of my health? How will I take care of how Mercy looks? That means when I wake up in the morning, and I'm dressing myself, I'm not dressing myself for my husband or for my, it is still okay. But I am doing it, I am dressing, I'm putting on that dress that I like. I am taking care of my face for me, not for another person. So that even if that person does not appreciate, the first person who appreciated me is me. So I'll dress myself and I will look at myself in the mirror and I am happy with the way I look and I appreciate myself. What are the health goals I want to have for myself? What am I eating? Am I just eating anything, anyhowly? Sometimes we are so mean to ourselves that even cooking a meal. I remember like that time, it's very common with the ladies especially, when the family is not there, the children are not there, I decide I'm not cooking. It's as if me, I do not deserve to eat well. So when they are not there, I will not cook. Why am I not cooking? It is because somehow I do it for them, not for me. But if I really value myself, I will be able to go to that kitchen, prepare a good meal for myself, and sit down and eat it. I'll be able to plan a day. I go out and do swimming for my own health, not for any other person. I'll be able to prepare that cake and eat it because I'm taking care of me. So that when all these people are not there, can Mercy still be able to live? Can Mercy be able to deliver what Mercy was called for? Or she has delivered all the other. If my son or my daughter decides to do their life in the way that I did not expect, will I still have the same strength? I remember there's a time I was also shocked with my reaction. I met a lady. I like encouraging people. Naturally, it will flow in me. So I would meet ladies, maybe you've lost your husband, a man has lost their wife, and I had that thing of encouraging them, and giving them hope that God is going to do something. But one day, I found myself, she was a senior lady. The children are big, they are old. It was just her and her husband. So the husband died. And she was holding me because, the fear, the shock of the loss. And she did not leave me all the way to the mortuary, all the way to her house. She's holding me. I can tell she's suffering. But I was so surprised that for this particular lady, I was trying to open my mouth to say something to her. I do not know what to tell her. I was trying to relate with what is she feeling about her husband, maybe probably because of the experiences I had. And I don't know what to tell her. And it's when I realized in that space of love, in that space of marriage and husband and that, I was so disconnected that the fact that, she loved her husband, I could not even be able to, why is she crying? Why is she so broken? So all this time when I was encouraging people and telling them, hold on to that, I did not realize that I did not even know how it felt to really love somebody that you're breaking down for them as your husband. It is when I went back to myself and I realized I related with God because I've always loved my God. But I related with Jesus as my brother. I had no relationship with God as a father and with God as a husband. For some reason, I would always be very comfortable and my prayers, my everything revolved around Jesus. And it's at that, when sometimes you go through situations, it's when you realize how deep your situation is. So, and unless you get out of it, now this lady is seeking help from me, but I'm not able to help her because I have to deal with my own pain. I had to deal with my own separation. I have to deal with it, face that reality. Once I face it, only then can I be able to help another person. So if you are there and you're living, I want you to ask yourself today, are you living or are you just doing life? Are you living or are you just existing? And if you are existing, it is a call back to bring yourself back to life and start living for you. Take some time alone. If you need some help, you can seek counseling, but take some time alone. Go back to the original you. The original you is that young man, is that young girl before life. You know, we say it's life. When we are saying it's life happened, life. Before life happened, the person that you are. If you look at it in the best way, is you look at the children. You know, when kids are young, if you ask them, they want to be a pilot, they want to be a doctor, they want to be big things. All of them, every child when they are young, they want to be big things. They're able to dream big about themselves. But after some time, when life happens, then we don't have goals. Sometimes you're not even sure what we want. We are doing life. We are living this life, but we really are so disconnected with the life that we actually are existing, but we stopped living. We post our own life. And unless I reawaken myself, I rekindle that original me, I will never be able to fulfill my purpose in life. I have a purpose beyond my children, beyond my husband, beyond my wife, beyond my family, beyond my mother, beyond my church. I am called for a purpose. I am created for a purpose. It will be very sad. Imagine if you exist all your life and die. And then when you are dead, your book is opened and you see the great person that you are supposed to be. A person that you never became, a person that you never experienced, a person that you never thought of, because you remained clocked in the pain, you remained, held in the situations. It doesn't matter how deep that pit may be. It doesn't matter how painful the situation is. Just step out and allow yourself to face that situation. You wake up in the morning and you say, yes, I'm hurting, it is painful, today I'm feeling lonely, but I am feeling it, but I am willing to step out and face it and get out. Because unless you face that pain, you will never heal. Unless I accept the reality that I am hurting, I'm angry, this thing was bad, and accepting means I'm not blaming myself. I am not feeling like I am guilty because of feeling pain or because of feeling hurt or because of feeling angry. You can get angry, but do not sin. It is okay not to be okay. It is very okay not to be okay. Because unless I accept that I am not feeling okay, I will never be okay, because I will never start the journey to start helping myself to heal and to process this pain and to process this situation that is making me feel bad. I will never go to that person and discuss, by the way, when you do this, you hurt me, or I'm angry because of this. I will never get a solution for a situation that I have not been able to face. Even if I keep escaping and running away from myself, for how long are you going to run away from yourself? So if you don't rekindle your original self, you'll be lost in sex, you'll be lost in alcohol, you'll be lost in church. You'll be feeling so lost and frustrated. You will have people look down upon you. You will have very low esteem because you stopped living. So allow yourself to face the pain. Allow yourself to face this situation so that you now start making steps to your healing. And now you start living. Have a journal and write the things that you want to do for yourself. Set your personal goals so that you start now your recovery process. Intentional goals and take intentional steps to your healing process so that now you start becoming the person that God destined you to become. So as we had today's program, the call is, let me go back to myself and assess myself. What am I living for? What is my purpose outside all these people? Am I living or am I existing? And if I'm existing, I have a chance now to rekindle my original self, to have those steps of me becoming again and start living a fulfilling life and a purposeful life, because unless I do that, I will die and I will be lost. Because the person that was supposed to exist, the person that was supposed to live, the person that God created will have not lived their life. So wake up and remember, it is okay to have all these feelings. The only thing we need to do, I have to now start working on myself so that I can start processing these situations and start becoming. It is possible, it is doable. It is possible for me to start living. Just arise and rekindle that original person, because that original person is beautiful, is wonderful, is a great person and can shake the world. God bless you so much. Let us meet next time for more fulfilling and hope restoring sessions at HopePulse. And remember to keep that pulse of hope. God bless you.
When life happens as it does, then there is a lifting up. HopePulse with Masin Njoroge.